Gonna take you down, deep down to the front line. You woke up this morning, got yourself a gun.
Hi everybody, this is Mzbomey and I am back in the kitchen today with another recipe. And in honor of spring, I don't know if you can see my apron. There.
How is that in honor of spring?
Because we can peel back the layers and layers of clothes that we had to use to keep warm during frozen tundra, aka winter season.
Oh.
I'm just saying. So, happy first few days of spring. So today, I got a really easy recipe. And I wanted to pick something that was pasta or pasta related because, excuse me, growing up on Sunday afternoons was always, you know, pasta at my mom's house. So, I tried pasta at mom's house. Well, not anymore, my house. So anyways, it's called Penne and Vodka sauce. That's the recipe. The ingredients are pretty dang simple. You're going to use one whole package of penne pasta, 2 tablespoons of butter, a 1/4 pound of bacon, and I've already pre-cooked it and kind of chopped it up. 1/3 cup of vodka. For those who of you are vodka fans, 2 thumbs up. A 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream, 1.5 cups of tomato sauce, and a 1/2 cup of grated cheese. So I have all my ingredients here right in front of me. I've already went ahead and started cooking the noodles, and they look like, excuse me, they're ready. So what I'm going to do is just drain these.
You gonna drain the noodle?
Oh Jesus.
What does that entail?
Comments from the peanut gallery once again. Once again, comments from the peanut gallery.
Hey, did you hear?
What?
Chuck went out in round 1 of the National Operation playoffs.
You pick on Chuck, something fierce. I'm picky about my pants being clean, so sorry.
I heard it was something like, on your mark, get set, go. He was out.
You pick on Chuck way too much.
Sorry.
Poor Chuck.
Yeah, poor Chuck.
Yeah, poor guy. Okay, so anyways, what you're gonna do is, like I just did, you bring, get your water boiling, get your pasta going. Once the pasta's cooked, we're gonna go ahead and in a large skillet, which we got here, we're gonna go ahead and start melting our butter. Yeah, that's the ticket, butter. Put that in the sink there. So I hope everybody had a good week and good weekend, and tomorrow is Monday, back to the grind for most of us. Yuck. Kind of hard to go to work when the days get nicer outside and you don't want to be at work doing your thing. Just saying. And then once the butter is melted, then we're going to go ahead and add the bacon. Oh, the bacon that you want to use is the pancetta bacon. I couldn't find that, so I found some thin sliced bacon in my grocery store, market, whatever you call it, from whatever origin region you're from. Just saying. This is an easy recipe. Most pasta recipes are pretty easy. I mean, you get some pretty complex ones too, like stuffed manicotti and doing, things like that. But for the most part, most of the pasta recipes are fairly easy. I have a recipe you'd have to dig way back in the very beginning where there's a quick quick, easy recipe for spaghetti sauce. Remember that, Eric? First couple times that I did that. Okay, now we're gonna add the bacon into the pan. You know, people are gonna be like, bacon and vodka? I can just imagine the comments right now, can you?
You got me at bacon.
You had me at bacon. Somebody will say you had me at vodka. Watch. Okay. Get this all coated in the butter. Get that heated up. That'll take just a minute. And then once the butter and the bacon get heated up, you want to go ahead and add the vodka and then stir that and reduce that about half, and then that'll take about 4 to 5 minutes to go ahead and do that. So let's just get the bacon just a little bit more brown because it's nice to have it crispy, or as Eric likes to say, crunch crunch. Crunchy, crunchy. That's how you order your hash browns at the restaurant. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this for a minute and then I'll be back to add the rest. Okay, I'm back. I'm reducing the heat on this, and as you can see, my bacon is going and going. And now it's time to go ahead and add our vodka. Listen to that sizzle.
Yeah, that's the cry of cranberry juice.
The cry of what?
My cranberry juice.
Yeah, I used the last of KB's vodka, so he's not too happy right now. Whew! Boy, if you could smell this, whew, you could smell the vodka. I'm gonna take it off the stove for just a second, just to kind of show you what it's looking like so far. There we go. Put this back on. I'll get this to reduce down, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, now I'm back and I got it simmered down. There's not as much in there as there was a few minutes ago. And it'll take about 4 or 5 minutes depending upon like how your stove and pans work. Okay. Alright, so now that we got that sauteed and added the vodka into it, we reduce the heat, we let that cook for about 4 to 5 minutes, reduce that by half, and then now you're going to stir in the tomato sauce and the cream. Okay? Turn that down some more. There's our tomato sauce and our cream. Together. And I would go ahead and say, if you like bacon, which most of you people out there watching do, you might want to add just a tad more than what I have, just to give it a little bit more of a bacon flavor, kick, oomph, whatever you want to call it. Just saying. So I got this all stirred together, and I'll just give you a look at what the sauce should pretty much look like. Okay, so this is going to go ahead and simmer. Don't cover it. You want to do this for about 10 to 12 minutes and stir every few minutes, because as anybody knows, it's always important to what? Stir the sauce.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
the Italian chick is gonna go ballistic and offer to shoot your stove for you.
And what was that movie that we saw that we were watching? Ray Liotta was in it with Robert De Niro. Was that the one? And he had the crippled brother, and so he went to get the brother out of the home or something to bring him home for dinner. So he made the brother stand in front of the stove and make sure to stir the sauce.
Oh, that's Casino?
Was it Casino or was it?
Because he's gonna go pick up the drugs and the helicopter's following him and he says, watch my sauce. Keeps yelling at him, watch my sauce.
Oh, was it Goodfellas?
Or Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. It's hard to keep them straight. Yeah. So every time I think stir the sauce, I always think about that movie Goodfellas. Just saying. So. All right. I'm not going to sit here and ramble on for 12 minutes or so, so I'm just going to be back when the sauce is all ready and ready to go. Then we'll add our pasta to it and get the Parmesan cheese in there, and it'll be good to go. Back in a few. Okay, I'm back in the kitchen, and the sauce is pretty much done. Put this over here so you can kind of see it. I wish really someday I could get an overhead camera. Well, do what I'd like it to do. Hey, that's a whole other story. I'm gonna give this a quick stir. And now you want to go ahead and add in your pasta. It's gonna all come out in one clump because I had it sitting there draining for a moment. Oh, we'll get it all broken up and mixed in and coated and looking all yummy. I'm sure if you look on the internet, there's probably other recipes that vary as far as what to put like in the sauce. I know for some people who may not, be into bacon and you're a vegetarian, I'm sure there is a recipe out there, that would be to add the vegetable rather than the bacon. This is the best when you can get it all coated. Trying to get this pasta to break up a little bit here so I can get it all coated. Get it all in there. Mix it up real good. What are you trying? Music in the back there? Do you think people are getting bored in 2.2 seconds, so you're gonna switch it up?
That sucks.
Oh, what do you expect? It's free music. And you want to let this sit in the pan after you get it mixed up for about a minute, just to make sure that your pasta noodles, especially if they've been sitting for a little bit like mine have, to make sure they get all nice and warm again. I have to say, this is just about the right amount of sauce. I think next time that I would do this recipe, I would go with a little bit less noodles because I like a little bit more sauce that I could, have on my pasta. But, again, it's personal preference, whatever floats your boat. Don't you know? Okay, I'm just gonna let that sit there for a minute and just make sure that everything's heating all the way through. And pretty much that's it. I don't know if there's anything new going on in the world. I've been kind of in the land of oblivion the last couple days. Been busy with my own stuff going on. Not paying attention to much what's spinning outside my door. The world as we know it. Just saying. Just saying. Okay. Oh, there we go. Now she's heating through. This is the way my nonna, my grandma, used to serve her pasta. She always likes to put, mix the sauce right in there with the noodles. See if I can get a couple pieces of bacon to go with that. Okay, and then sprinkle on a little Parmesan cheese. The best kind is, shredded for this. Ooh, I'm so sloppy today, look at that. Oh, sloppy. And that's it. That's the final product right there, boys and girls. That is our dish for tonight. It's our penne and bacon vodka sauce. And I have to be the first to admit that I've never tried this before. It just it looked kind of good. So I'm gonna do a little taster here. I get a piece of bacon and a noodle and a little bit of cheese. It's good. Like I said, I think I would have eased off a little bit on the noodles, just so I could have had a little bit more sauce to taste the sauce a little bit more. But otherwise, really, it's not bad. So it's easy. It takes about 25 minutes to prepare all together. Takes about 10 minutes to prep, 15 minutes to cook, and then you're done. So there you have it. Give it a whirl. See what you think. Until then, this is Mzbomey saying good night, good eats, wherever you are. Look at that. I ended it just as the song ended. I am awesome.